Let's put it this way: it's a sustenance of the status quo that has been characterized by imperfections in our electoral management system, which is not a true reflection of the proposed will.
So in 2023, we saw this debacle of glitch that happened during transmission, and then the server was shut down and all of that. So are we foreseeing a repeat of this in 2020?
Or something much worse, because the push for a mandatory transmission of results was such that it's no longer at the discretion of INEC. And so INEC can no longer give the excuse that there was a technical glitch that shut down the server in the process of declaring elections electronically or transmitting them electronically in real time. Now it's going to be mandatory, meaning, for instance, if there's a glitch, you have to repeat that election. I do not think the ruling class in Nigeria is ready for true democratic change in this country, because they are enjoying the status quo. They are in power. They know that they have not really served the people's interest. They are aware. They are not oblivious of this fact. And so they will not do anything that we are akin to committing class suicide by enabling you and I, the people, to hire and fire freely. That power is not something they are ready to give to us. But we can actually take it as a people. If only we are resolute, we are resolved as a people to say, we have identified those whom we want to elect into positions of leadership across the board, and we are going to make the sacrifice required, which is the resilience, the steadfastness, the commitment to stay focused and stay the course. If we're able to do that, and people power is harnessed properly, it will dissolve any or neutralize any attempt at electoral subterfuge. In procurement processes, for those who want to, who wanted to carry out the bazaar of contracting and procurement of some of these things, for me that was the major motivation. Nothing more than that. Look, I keep saying this. In a community of human beings, there's a difference between a human being and an animal. You don't need too much of technology to conduct a fair election. As a human being, if you are standing for election, you should not accept a single drop of vote into your ballot box if you did not earn it. As a human being, ordinarily, if you stand for an election and 5 people voted for you genuinely, and somebody tries to add 1 vote to make it 6, as a human being, you are supposed to reject it. Meaning you don't even accept such things in your own favor, let alone perpetrating it. I've always argued that the problem with Nigeria is not electoral reforms or electoral laws. It is the fact that integrity of the system is lacking at whatever level. And rather than working on the integrity of the system, the integrity of the participants, the integrity of the processes, we resorted to the long arm of the law. Even if these guys had decided to include mandatory transmission of results in real time, electronic transmission of results, be rest assured that somebody somewhere would have also studied the same law to undermine it at a level that will marvel you, that will take you by surprise on election day. We've seen this happen over and over again. We've seen how card readers were undermined because of the loophole of incident forms. We saw it. The same thing with the beavers and other processes. So for me, let's stop spending money on all of these processes. All of these procurements of technology is no longer necessary. As long as it is not legally tenable, let us concentrate more on developing the integrity of the system, beginning, not necessarily with even INEC, with the electoral process itself. You see, the weakest link in our democracy value chain has been the political party system. Ordinarily, in a democracy, power is given and not taken. This is what is important to begin to redefine some of these terms we bandy around. In a democracy, you don't take on what's given to you. But the political parties are operating on the maxim that power is taken and not given, meaning they hijack it, they steal it, they run away with it. So we have to go back to that level. Can we now have political parties that ability understand that power is freely given by the people as a trust? That is a responsibility that comes from privilege, but more of a responsibility to uphold that social contract between the people and the government on the delivery of welfare and security for the people. Until we have this fundamental reset and reconfiguration of the political party system, we are participants to that play by the rules and observe absolute fidelity to constitutionalism. The players will keep corrupting the system, as the same players are the ones that are appointing authorities of the electoral body and even in the judiciary. This corrupt cycle of electoral processes that has characterized our democracy since 1999 will remain a revolving door without an end. So we need to expand this conversation beyond INEC. Who are the people influencing INEC? Who are the people appointing people to INEC? Who are the people dictating to INEC? Ordinarily, as a senator or as a rep member, and as an elected governor or president, you swore to uphold that constitution. When you did that, when you took that oath of office, it mandates you at all times to do everything within your power, within your areas of responsibility, to improve, continuously improve the lot of the people, our democratic processes, our laws, our welfare, our security, which includes, for instance, the clamor for transmission of results electronically as a means of avoiding, of preventing rigging at the coalition level. Any lawmaker, ordinarily, that is indeed distinguished or honorable, should be heard of the people in bringing up such laws, even if it will cost them the election. But unfortunately, the process that threw them up in the first place makes it impossible for them to do this. Because our electoral process has degenerated over time into criminal enterprise of power grab for self-service. So your lawmakers are no longer there to serve you as the people. They are there to serve themselves. So they cannot give any law. They'll make elections free and fair enough for you to fire them there. The people are to blame for this.
Which people?
With the Nigerian people.
With the Nigerian people.
We are enablers of the same thing you are complaining about.
How?
Identity politics. It is easy for a Nigerian to stay on TV, or on radio, or write on the page of newspapers and criticize Akpabio and criticize Tinubu. But when the time for election comes, we withdraw into our cocoons of ethnicity and re-elect these ethnic champions that have come from the various sections of Nigeria back to Abuja. So for instance, we discovered that Akpabio might be not popular as a Nigerian Senate president, but he's very popular as senator from Ikode axis of Akpabio State. Why? Because he's brought home a lot of things. He's not used his position to attract a lot of things back home. It is the same thing with the 109 other senators, the 216 House of Rep members, few ministers and co. You see, it is called prebendalism. It's a special case for Nigeria. International scholars of political science study Nigeria particularly and decided that Nigeria's problem of corruption is prebendalism, which is a legitimate form of corruption that is steeped in culture, that derives its roots from identity politics, with likely both along ethnic and religious lines. And no political party has been able to galvanize Nigerians around the pan-Nigerian agenda for collective development. However, in the absence of that, the various political parties have mastered the game of keeping us perpetually divided so that they can continuously rule us. So what has happened is this. As the election is getting closer, the narrative should soon change from issues-based politics to sectional things, to other things like whose turn is it? Who should produce the president? Who should produce the vice president? which religion should produce this, which activity should produce that. Before you know what is happening, again we are falling into this trap of folly. And we'll give them the legitimacy to call it Abuja and continue to do what they are doing. You see, the reward system for identity politics is not development. It can't be, it's not good governance. It's patronage. So proprietarianism is defined by international scholars as a sense of entitlement over the resources domiciled in their areas of responsibility by appointed or elected political officials. So that a minister in Nigeria thinks that his ministry is a reward for him for participating in politics. So he skews the budget towards the section of the country with him as a major beneficiary. So what happens that leaves Nigeria underdeveloped perpetually. Because you can't develop any country along national line. It has to be integrated development. It has to be a collective development agenda, because we are existing in a global world where Nigeria is just one entity among many. So ordinarily we should be competing among ourselves. The Igbo, the Hausa, the Yoruba, the North, the South, the Muslim, the Christian. We should be, as a nation, competing against other nations for global resources. But that trajectory is not there at all. So what we do is that politics makes us perpetually divided and struggling over internal resources. It's only after elections, after we voted for ethnicity, voted for religion, that we now come back and lament for the next 4 years. So it is important for the people themselves to know their complicity in this matter. Because like rightly pointed out, they are despised, but how come they actually win elections? Sometimes they don't have to win elections. No, he's trying. He brought 5 employment slots to our people. People don't know that in that process, 1,000 more people opportunities have been wasted. So that's skewed sectional tendency. People don't know that, look, you don't need a senator to get you a job. It's not his responsibility. That is influence spending, that is corruption. You are entitled to a job in line with your competence, with what you merit, and with your inclinations, with your calling. The state should provide for you. Nobody needs to intercede for you. Like water,
That's right.
it flows and finds its level. But as a pyramid
System.
of a system, because essentially what is it? If we connect to the global community, for instance, as we are supposed to have done but we've not, and for instance we are competing, say, with Ghana for the dominance of beans trade, beans as a food crop in the continent of Africa, for instance, and there is a position towards that. It means we are going to orient your economy and bring on board all the talented people you require to fill up that value chain that will keep you ahead, competitively ahead of Ghana in the effort of beans to the continent of Africa. So in that process, anybody that is qualified to hop into that without bias or without prejudice to ethnicity or religion, but with consideration only for your relevance to this value chain, it will automatically earn everybody wants to contribute to hop on that train. It's the same thing with all other export competitive areas. Before you know it, everybody will find their level just like water. But we're not even on that trajectory yet. So the problem is, again, we need that the task ahead of us is so that we cannot solve that problem in silos alone. It's a holistic, overhaul we need in our mental state and how we intend to sit down and manage this country.